going on, people? Today I'm going to be talking about the Bruce Lee Greatest Hits collection from Criterion. They released this recently, and I'm going to be reviewing that for you today. So, without any other further ado, I'm going to be talking about all of these movies all at once, all in one just lump sum video for you guys. So basically the movies that you get here is The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, Game of Death, and Game of Death 2. So, what do I think of all of these films? I think that I grew up on these movies, specifically Way of the Dragon and Game of Death. These are just classic kung fu movies that just, you know what, if you watch any of them, you should be watching these. Bruce Lee was just a electrifying presence on screen as far as his talents in martial arts and just overall a presence on screen just as an actor. I really enjoy these films. And I enjoy watching him, even in the less popular ones like The Big Boss. These stunts are terrific in all of these films because they are actual stunts that are being done by real people that actually know what they're doing. And side note, if you are looking for the Bruce Lee movie that has Chuck Norris in it, it is actually Way of the Dragon. And that one, I thought it was another one, but it was actually that one that I remembered as a child watching. I hadn't watched these in like years, so you know what, they're great. And if you're looking for me to give like an overall grade here, like I'm supposed to do, I give these all 8 out of 10. And as far as the video quality here goes, these were actually given a 4K scan of the original negatives here. But these aren't in 4K. These are not 4K discs. These are actually just regular Blu-ray discs. So these are 1080p, but they were just downscaled from those 4K sources. With that being said, these come across generally pretty good here, with Way of the Dragon actually being the best. Now, Way of the Dragon is one that has had kind of a troubled history on Blu-ray. A lot of the color toning comes across a bit hot, and whites are really kind of off in other previous Blu-rays that have been released. Here, that is largely fixed. The color tones are spot on, and clarity is what it is. It's not the best here, but it definitely it's the best that you're going to get out of this. These were shot for lower money. They're kind of rough, but you know what, they look good in their own right, to be quite honest with you. And when you get into just the other films here, I would say that The Big Boss looks the worst out of all of them. I feel like there are some soft moments in that particular film that aren't really in the other transfers. But with that being said, the bulk of these actually, as far as clarity is concerned, perform pretty damn well when you take into consideration the age and how these were filmed. When you're getting into detail work here, I would say that, again, The Big Boss, it's definitely the softest out of all of them, so the detail work is going to suffer there a little bit, but I feel like Game of Death and Way of the Dragon pick that up, and they have great amounts of detail when it comes to landscapes and textures on clothing, and a lot of the close-ups with the facial features. A lot of that is concerned. Specifically, Way of the Dragon, it has a lot more set pieces to it. A lot of costume changes and just a lot more. It's a lot more theatrical, and for that, I feel like it kind of fares a little better than the others. But generally, I feel like these films fare pretty damn well when it comes to detail, with the small exception of the Big Boss. In general, black levels here across the board are spot on. They have very, very little crushing, and shadow detail is very well done as well. Color toning is great here, and facial tones are spot on as well. I'm actually going to give this a 9 out of 10 when you take into consideration the actual quality of the original negatives and what they had to work with here, because what they had to work with, this work looks damn good. And when you're getting into the audio here, now every single film, with the exception of the the special remastered version of Game of Death, because there is actually 2 versions of Game of Death here that you can view. The newest version of Game of Death has a 5.1 mix, but everything other than that here has a 2.0 mono mix. However you choose to go with this, whether it's subtitled in Mandarin or the English version that are just dubbed, if you like that sort of thing, I like subtitles, but that's just me. Hey, look, these sound great for what they are. The 2.0 mixes, there isn't a whole lot to talk about with them, but they sound clear, they sound crisp, and you can hear dialogue expertly well. These are very well mixed mono tracks. The 5.1 mix, definitely, you know what? I love Game of Death, and I like it in 5.1. What can I say? I really dug the speaker separation here and the use of surrounds. And as far as the dialogue is concerned, it is crisp, clear, and audible. I had no issues with that. Bass response is limited, but I do feel like it is definitely present. I like it for that. And you know what? I struggled with this. I struggled with the fact that we are still dealing with mono tracks here. And you know what? Is that okay? I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I do feel like for a lot of these, they could have given us, all of these, they could have given us a 5.1 mix instead of just giving it to a certain version of Game of Death, but it is what it is. And there are no digital copies here, unfortunately. Criterion does not do that, people. But what they do is a whole lot of special features, and oh my god, there are a whole lot of special features. Each film has commentary tracks, featurettes that go over the making of the film, and a lot that went into how Bruce Lee perceived all of these movies and came up with the concepts for these films and the fight choreography, what the undertones for these films are, and how he perceived them. So much of this I'm not going to go all into, but there is a crazy amount of special features on each disc, and I'm just going to say that I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This is a lot of stuff. And so, getting into my last looks at the greatest hits of Bruce Lee box set. This is, you know what? A very good mix of the greatest of Bruce Lee. If you are new to Bruce Lee and you want to know, hey, what are his greatest films and you want to check them all out, this is a great box set for you guys to get into because it has all of the greats here. And when you add up all my scores for the Bruce Lee Criterion box set, you come out to a 32 out of 40. That is largely because of the fact that this is awesome. These are the best versions of these films, and hey, you get a whole lot of them. So coming up next on the channel, I do have Spartacus in 4K Ultra HD to watch, and I will be watching that damn soon and getting it to you guys. So if you are excited about that, make sure you comment down below and let me know and subscribe so you know when that video comes out. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because, hey, you all know it. And I will see all of you next time.